officially on baby watch. I am 38 weeks pregnant and 4 days. Normal pregnancy length, 40 weeks. I was speaking with our dear friend Holy Tash, link in the description, she has a YouTube channel as well. One thing led to the other and we were like, what if I make a video of reading books until I find a 5-star book, which is something that we've done together actually. But instead of it being until I find a 5-star book, it's going to be it's going to be until I pop this baby out. Just like the other video, no one knows how long this is going to go for. It could be a day, it could be a month. Technically it cannot be a month because they're not gonna let me go over 42 weeks. So rewind that. It could be a day, it could be 2.5 weeks. It could be one book, it could be 10. Could I potentially read more than 10 books in 2.5 weeks? I am still in my major reading slump that I have the feeling that started around October 2021 or 2022? 22 probably. Almost a year, literally, because it's going to be October in a month and a bit. This is the most chaotic intro to a video ever. Reading is not something that I've been doing a lot of. The last few days I have been trying to get back into it, just because if I'm not a reader, who am I? I finished the book yesterday. I could have started this vlog 3 days ago and that book would have been part of this vlog, hence extra content. But that didn't happen. But I was reading the first book in the Billionaires trilogy. The first book is called Fine Print. Solid 4 stars for me. Probably more of a 3.75, but I did rate it 4 stars. I started All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. I've had this book for so long, and the reason why I randomly picked it up is because I've also had the audiobook for ages that I got in one of those Audible sales that they did at some point, either like books for £1 or 2, or like 2 books for 1 credit. Every now and then Audible does a few sales, and when it's like that, I sometimes take advantage of it, especially if I'm running low on credits. Since I've been on this master reading slump, that's not really an issue because my membership is still active, so every month I get a new credit. So they just accumulate very easily. Short story long to tell you that I've had the audiobook for this for ages. And this morning I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick it up and start reading. Then I read the synopsis, and it says, a beautiful and provocative love story between 2 unlikely people, which I knew it was going to be like a forbidden love, and the hard-won relationship that elevates them above the Midwestern meth lab backdrop of their life. And then I was like, I don't really want to read a book about like drug circles and like those communities and the families that don't really care about them. And I honestly was thinking to myself, should I just ignore the fact that I have the audiobook for this and then hold the book and never think about it again? But then I picked it up and honestly, you know, it's floppy, it's an American edition, and I was like, there's nothing to lose about starting reading it, and if I hate it, I can DNF it and unhaul it. But I started reading it this morning. I read 5 chapters, 44 pages, and I'm actually quite enjoying it. What a plot twist! I don't know if this is going to continue, but this is going to be the first book that I'm reading on this vlog. God, I recorded this for 6 minutes and a half and I feel like I said nothing. Also, I'm gonna have a yogurt because baby wants yogurt. I feel like I can use that as an excuse for pretty much everything that I do nowadays. It's great. So when people ask me if I'm anxious for the baby to be born, I'm like, not really, because first of all, who would be looking forward to destroy their vagina? And second, I'm gonna lose all the perks of being pregnant, which is basically people doing things for you, and volunteering to do things, and helping, and continuously checking on you, and asking how you're doing, and eating all the crap that your heart desires. I'm gonna lose all those perks. And even though I've been pregnant literally the entire year, literally, I feel like I haven't had enough time with the perks. Just saying.
6. Miss DeBrassi. September 1977. Her first year teaching, Lisa DeBrassi had Ravonna Quinn in her 3rd grade class, one of 14 names on the roster.
I've been on the sofa the whole afternoon. I'm going on to part 2, read 84 pages, and so far I'm really enjoying it. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say really enjoying it. It's just a pleasant, interesting story so far. Maybe I'll tell you about it a bit later with more details. There's quite a lot of characters, but I'm not finding it difficult to follow who's who. Each chapter has the name of the character who's narrating that chapter. Besides the main chapters, whenever there's someone new showing up, it immediately explains who that person is. So it's very easy to follow up. And it's also one of those stories that, besides the main characters, like those 2 or 3 that the story is about, The other ones, even when they show up narrating a chapter, it doesn't really matter exactly who they are, more what they're saying and what they're telling us, because it will be about the main character. And basically we're just following this story without much details, because I find that these reading vlogs are always more interesting when they're more to the point. But basically we have this girl, Wavy. She's like 8 or 9. She doesn't really speak. She has, I guess, like selective mutism or something, because she chooses not to speak. And she's the daughter of a drug dealer, Liam, and her mom is depressed or something. She's just overall a really bad mom. The other main character is Kellen, who's a guy who is like a business partner, not so much, like a more employee of her dad. He seems to also be involved in the drug business, but I don't know, he seems more like a decent person, and he really cares about Wavy, so they're friends, and he's one of the only people that Wavy actually trusts and talks to him every now and then. So I reckon they're gonna have a love interest between the two of them, hopefully, when Wavy is a bit older. But the age gap between them is quite a lot. I don't exactly know how old Kellen is, but he drives and everything, so I assume there's quite a big age gap there. So I hope they don't get involved while she's still a kid. So far there has been absolutely no indications of that. If they do get involved while she's still a kid, that's gonna be really weird to read about. I'm gonna go make dinner and I'll speak to you later. Good morning, everyone. One more evening successfully not going into labor. Today is 38 plus 5. We're approaching the end of week 38. Scary. Yesterday I read quite a good chunk of this book. I read the first 100 pages. There was a chapter here where Kellen and Wavy were sharing a bed, not in a romantic way or anything, or a sexual way or nothing. Like, it just happened that they were both laying in bed and then they fell asleep. And I was telling myself, like, okay, it's fine. But then he wakes up and he's saying how he was rock hard. And I'm like, no. So, I don't know. I'm really scared to continue reading this. Obviously, I'm going to, but I'm scared because I don't want to read that kind of thing about an adult and a child. It gives me shivers just thinking about it. But I'm gonna sit here on the sofa now, read for a bit, and I hope that nothing like that's gonna happen. Also, can we just appreciate Miku sleeping over there? So cute. Yes, I said your name. Hello, Miku. Good girl. I don't think I've updated you yesterday, but I ended up reaching part 3 and then I read 6 more chapters, 204 pages, which is pretty much halfway through. Guys, it's getting weird. First of all, I've discovered the age gap between the two main characters that I told you I wasn't sure. It's 13 years. The guy is 13 years older than her. Now they're talking about getting married because she's insecure that, like, she knows he has all the girls and girlfriends and whatever. His way of proving that it's just her was that they went to a jewelry shop and he bought a wedding ring for her, and his intention was not to marry her, but now he's like, maybe when she's older we can get married. I think she's like 13 or 14 years old at the moment. I'm really enjoying the fact that this extends through many years. I always like when books do that, when it's a compilation of someone's life just through the years. It's keeping me very good company, to be honest. I've been reading it for 2 days now, I think. Some books are good for binging, some books are good to fall asleep, and other books are just good to keep you company, and I feel like this falls into the latest category. Guys, I'm struggling. I feel so much pain, pressure, I don't even know how to describe it, on my lower back here. I've tried sitting on the ball, tried sitting at the edge of the sofa, I tried putting a pillow behind my back. Nothing is doing it. And it's driving me insane, to be honest. I was there on the coffee table, with the coffee table elevated, trying to work on some videos. I edited one and I was gonna do the thumbnail, but like, my back. I'm struggling. I don't know what to do.